Hey guys, and welcome to Ozzie Reviews. Today I'm checking out the Bluetti AC240 portable power station. Now those of you who saw the previous AC180 that I did, that was quite a popular review, and even in that review I said I'd like to get something with a little bit more oomph in it. So I've got the AC240, which is brand new here to the Australian market. So bear with me guys, we'll run through the usual few stats and technical specs on it, and then we'll put it to actual practical use, and you can see yourself what this thing will run and what it won't run. So what's the benefits of having one of these? Obviously over a more traditional generator, you don't have the noise, nor do you have the fumes. So you can use them at campsites where they prohibit those traditional fuel powered generators. But you can also have it in the event of a blackout, and you're not going to have the same noise keeping you up all night or anything like that. I think these are a really good idea. So this one here is 2.4 kVA, so we've got 2,400 watts of AC output with this portable power station. So there's 10 outlets for multiple devices, which I'll run through individually in just a moment. So you can charge from the wall socket, or you can charge from up to 1,200 watts of solar, or you can charge on a 12 or 24 volt cigarette lighter port. So, if you were traveling out west with this for a few hours, you could have this, charging in your car or whatever. So you've got a few different options there. So the battery on this is 1,536 watt lithium iron phosphate battery, 51.2 volts and 30 amp hours. It's got 10 years plus of life and guaranteed for 3,500 plus recharges to 80% capacity. We've also got 3,600 watts of surge protection built into this unit. You can operate it from -4 to +104 degrees Fahrenheit, or -20 degrees Celsius to +40 degrees Celsius. The dimensions on it, overall weight is 33 kilo or 72 pounds. So it's obviously a little bit more heavy than some of the smaller Bluetti devices, naturally, because it punches a lot more power. The overall length is 41.9 centimeters, or about 16.5 inches. The width is 29.3 centimeters, or 11.6 inches. And the overall depth is 40.9 centimeters, or 16.1 inches. So with charging times on this, if you're using the wall charger, so 240 volts there, you're looking at about from 0 to 100%, about an hour. That's what I've found with this. If you're using a combination of 1,200 watts worth of solar, obviously in good sunny conditions, about an hour and a half. If you're using that cigarette outlet in your car, if you've got a 100 watt 12 volt outlet, 14.6 hours, or a 200 watt 24 volt outlet, 7.3 hours. You can expand this device with their new battery expansion, so the B210, which is 2,150 watt of battery expansion there. You can put 4 of them onto this as well, so you could really set it up as a off-grid system. You can control the unit via the Bluetti app, smart control system, and it's actually IP65 water and dust resistant, where the previous AC180 that I tested wasn't. And I thought that was a little bit of a negative, because if you're using this on a campsite and you've got, a shower that comes over, you want to make damn sure that, your device doesn't short out. So being IP65 rated, that means that it's got complete protection from dust and low pressure water from all directions. So we will test that in this review as well. Okay, so let's run through the outputs we got here, guys. I was very disappointed actually to see we got rid of the magnetic charging on top. Obviously perhaps something to do with the IP65 rating on it, but yeah, I really missed that about the AC180. But anyhow, let's go through the ports. So the first one that we've got here is just the 12 volt 10 amp cigarette lighter outlet. Okay, so you can run various devices off that. Then we've got the 12 volt 30 amp 360 watt RV port. Then we've got 2 of the USB-C 100 watt outputs. Then we've got the more traditional USB-A 18 watt outputs, so 2 of them. And then over here we've got 4 of the 230 volt 11 amp outlets for 2,400 watts in total. So let's turn it on and I'll show you the LCD screen up close. So we've got a couple of things here. Okay, we've got the DC input, then we've got the DC output on the left hand side, then we've got AC input and AC output. So in other words, if you're running obviously a solar panel or you're charging from perhaps a cigarette port in your vehicle, there's always an indication of the input and then obviously the output depending on what you're using on it at the time. In the middle there, we've got 100% battery charge, and we've got, yeah, the top there, 99.9 hours. So when we use this, what will happen is it'll come up with the output. Okay, so then we'll have at the bottom there, you'll be able to see how many hours of runtime you have with the battery for that particular device that you're running. Okay, so we'll do some testing on that now and you'll see it in action. So let's see how the Bluetti goes at running a 420 litre upright deep freezer. So as you can see there, just under 100 watts of power. Obviously the motor has already worked to keep the freezer cool, and this is just maintaining that. But we've got almost 13 hours of runtime out of the Bluetti. So now we're testing it with a 500 litre upright fridge freezer. Let's see how it goes. So as you can see there, we're using 117, 118 watts of power, and we've got 15.6 hours of runtime. Okay, let's see how we go with an 1100 watt microwave. So as you can see there, guys, we've got pretty much 1700 watts of output, and the runtime is 0.7 of an hour at this load. So how about an 1850 watt dual toaster? So as you can see there, the load we've got is 1585 watts and 0.7 of an hour of runtime. How about running a Sony 65-inch LED TV? It seems to be doing that with ease. So as you can see, it's sort of jumping between about 125 up to 145 watts, and now we've gone like 189 and so forth. So it is jumping around a little bit, but we've got roughly about 7.5 to 8 hours of runtime. Okay, so let's try the 1800 watt hairdryer. So as you can see, 1600 watts, and we've got 0.7 of an hour of runtime. So if you're a tradie, this would be fairly applicable as well. So how about we test this drop saw and just see what sort of output we get. So as you can see there, we had a spike there of 1600 watts, and then it drops back to just over 615 watts. So yeah, runs it no problem at all. Let's just try that again and see if we can see the spike. Yep, so it went over 2000 that time, but went back there to 615. Okay, so I've got my Milwaukee charger plugged in, I've got my Still charger plugged in, both charging batteries. We've got a soldering iron attached, and I've still got the drop saw attached. So obviously the drop saw is not on yet, but let's have a look closer here and see what our output is at the moment. So 718, 719 watts we've got, and we've got just on 1.8 hours of runtime. Okay, let's see what happens when we start the drop saw now. Oh, look at that, it's doing it. So combined total here, we're looking at about 1300 watts, and we've got 0.9 of an hour of runtime. Everything else is still charging up. Soldering irons on. So yeah, if you had a solar panel for this, you know, through the day, and you were adding that extra charge into it, geez, this would be fairly handy on a job site. And as you can see there, it is waterproof. Although in the manual they do say they don't recommend using it in the rain, and I'd imagine if you had things plugged in, there may be perhaps a bit of water get into the plug. But obviously if you're just carting it around or it's sitting outside like this and you've got the covers over the plugs, there's no problem whatsoever, as you can clearly see here. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap up my final thoughts on the Bluetti AC240 portable power station. I was pretty impressed with the AC180, and the AC240 just gives you that bit more grunt. And what I mean by that is now I believe that it's quite possible if you had one of these at your campsite. So if you're running like a camping fridge freezer, you can do that overnight. You'd have enough power to run it overnight. But then if you go and get one of the solar panels, so they make them as high as 350 watt in a single a solar array. So if you had two of them, you'd have 700 watts of power. So think about that. If you had 700 watts of power coming into the Bluetti through the day, you'd obviously top up the battery, but easily run so many of the items that you'd have around a campsite or on a job site. The possibilities are almost endless with it. So that's what I like about it. The big thing is just no fossil fuels, so you don't have to mix anything up. You don't have to, have the noise of a generator running. You don't have to have the fumes, nothing like that whatsoever. So they do come with a 6-year warranty, and the current price here in Australia from Bluetti Australia is down from $3,199 down to $2,699. So when you look at it, like you got to compare it and see which is suitable for you. But for me, there's just no, second guessing it. Like, I absolutely love it. It works perfectly for me, because when I'm in the field, I can be using my chainsaw. So I've got that a couple of electric chainsaws from Stihl. I can just recharge the batteries in the field and just keep going and keep turning them over. So for me, in my circumstances, it actually works out with a number of benefits. So anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. Please, if you did, give it the thumbs up. It means a lot to us if you do that. And also, please check your subscription to me, because YouTube just keeps unsubscribing you guys from me without your permission. So please just check that. Give us a quick thumbs up. It means the world to us, and we'll catch you on the next review.